Hello everyone. This is gonna be my second video for today. In the first one, I did some introduction of myself and I spoke a few words about this little project that I have to do some English language videos and share my opinion about state of world and some geopolitical actions that we see. And now I will introduce my vision of big geopolitical picture, because in my understanding almost everything that is happening in the world in sense of importance. Almost everything is quite easy to uncode if you take a big picture that I see, because this way it's quite easy to interpret to understand what the fuck is going on. That's it. So, including Russian-Ukrainian conflict, because if you watch Western propaganda, it's all about Russian aggression and Putin's desire to restore some Soviet Union or some that kind of crazy shit, man. If you see Russian propaganda, it's all about expansion of NATO and how NATO is trying to, prepare for war with Russia and that kind of stuff. In reality, I don't take any of these points, even though Moscow's position do have some points in it, because expansion of NATO is objective reality. I mean, you cannot deny that stuff, right? And obviously, Russian government is not happy about that stuff. But in my understanding, we're dealing here with a greater geopolitical game that based on interests of ruling Western elite. And when I say Western elites, I mean not these puppet governments that are installed in USA or Great Britain or some European states, or all European states, let's say. No, I'm talking about some families, or you may say clans, that ruling Western world and even entire world for last almost entire world for last few centuries at least. So what they want, these sick elites that bringing to the end peace almost every corner of this world. They want dominance, they want to maintain dominance that they enjoy for last centuries. And they see that right now and in near future, uh, dominance of these Western elites is crumbling because all power that they have comes from money. And nowadays, where is the money? You know, money is shifting hands, or places. Before, and no one could challenge West from point of view, from financial point of view or economical power. But nowadays we have emerging China as an economical superpower. We have India that quite strong in sense of economical and financial potential, and that varies Western elites because if not right now, in near future, balance of power will change, and ruling elites of the West will at least lose some of the power that they have over the world. So, in my understanding, what they try to do, what Western elites are trying to do is bring to the end modern world order and build up on ruins of modern world some new kind of order in which there will be no more potential opponents for them. How are they gonna do it? In a sense, they're using same tactics that was used by West before Second World War. They're gonna try and firstly they're gonna bring closer Russia and China to make sure that Chinese dependence on Russian energy will become a strategic one, so that China could not allow to use this source of energy. And then they're gonna try, Western elites gonna try to bring down or change regime in Russia, turn country against China, and this way of cornering China, they will try to provoke war between China and Russia. Because let's take a look at the map. Right now, we have Russia here, China here, and basically most of the energy that China imports comes from Middle East over there, and here we have a Persian Gulf that almost all oil and gas are imported through. And second most important energy source for China is Russia. So in my understanding, what Western is trying to do, Western elites is, and they're doing it for last 10 or 15 years at least, because if you take their politics, you will see that all they're trying is to push China out of oil fields. We can say that about Venezuela, where Chinese presence are significant. We can say that about African countries where China's presence are also significant, and where United States and Great Britain trying quite hard to push China out. But mainly, as a source of energy, of course, we're going to talk about Middle East and Russia. In Middle East, we have this, let's say, bottleneck as a Persian Gulf, through which imported almost entire quantities of oil and gas of this region. So what West is trying to do, in my understanding, and will try in the near future, they will provoke war between Iran and, let's say, Saudi Arabia and allies of Saudis in this region. And that way, or even maybe Iran, between Iran and Israel, if Saudi Arabia resists Western push to start the war, to ignite the war. Anyhow, Western elites will try to provoke war in this region, so that Persian Gulf will become unusable for oil and gas shipments. So China will eventually lose this energy that it takes from Middle East. Then only major source of energy for China will be Russia. And if we imagine that in 2-3 years' time, let's say, or in near future, China will lose access to Middle East because of the war that will be provoked by West in this region, and in Russia, West will try to do some regime change stuff and succeed with it. Now, what's China gonna do in this kind of situation? They will have no other choice other than by military means secure the energy sources, and closest oil and gas fields will be in former Soviet republics of Middle Asia, as we say here. That's Kazakhstan, first of all, and Turkmenistan. Both countries are rich in oil and gas. And Russia, and the Siberian part of Russia, or far east of Russia. And that way, you probably have seen a picture that I'm trying to provide, that what they really want is to ignite war between China and Russia in terms of in like 5, 10, 15 years. So they will demolish two possible opponents, in that way. But thing is that Western plans, in my understanding, go even far than that, because everyone should understand that war between, if it happens, let's hope that it's never gonna happen, but if it does, war between China and Russia is gonna be a nuclear one. And that means that other nuclear countries will hardly stay away. So it's not gonna be surprise for anyone if in this scenario India and Pakistan will exchange with nuclear strikes, or India and China, you know, and India and China, because India and China have quite hard relationships too, and quite difficult relationships. So in this way, you can see that West will destroy almost entire Asian region, where is shifting economic and financial power right now. And we should not forget that when we're talking about nuclear war, that means and destruction of these regional powers, we're talking about aftermath, catastrophic, apocalyptic aftermath of this kind of war. Entire world will be on its knees, and not just Asia, and in this scenario, West will take out all potential opponents, but even North America and Europe for a while gonna be kind of hell on Earth, like all other places, because destruction of supply chains and deficit of goods eventually will bring down social and economical or political systems in Western world too. And even though eventually Western elites may gain some power over this ruined world, price that will Western population will pay will be no less significant than for people that live in Asia, Russia, or some other places. So there is no win in this scenario for ordinary humans, ordinary good human beings, and I like to believe that most of population in North America and Europe are good human beings. So, in my understanding, people have to say something about these dangers that are, quite visible, for God's sake, quite visible. I'm not saying that only me see this picture. And probably you see something like that too, and many other people. So it is, it is what it is, And the Ukrainian war, Russian-Ukrainian conflict, is a part of this big picture, because to bring Russia and China closer, West had to isolate Russia from Europe. And how they gonna do it? In 2008, they tried, but it did not work that much. When US provoked Saakashvili to start the war in South Ossetia and open fire on Russian peacekeepers, which will definitely don't go down well with the Russian government, and we know what happened. Russia intervened, and this 4 or 5 day war ended quite badly for Georgia. But in Ukraine, Western elites succeeding for now, because they provoke, firstly in 2014, United States organized coup and bring down government of Yanukovych, which was corrupt and fucked up, but nevertheless it was a legitimate government of Ukraine. So United States used some paramilitary neo-Nazi groups that was trained in Poland and Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, Litva, from where they had support, direct support, So why the United States did that? Because to provoke, firstly, civil war in Ukraine, and we see what happened to Donbass region. They said, no, we don't want anything to do with you bastards. That's what they say to this new Ukrainian government or power brokers or whatever. So they break away from rest of the Ukraine. But that was only beginning. No, we know that Crimea became part of Russia, and that's kind of, quite expected stuff. Was because most population of Crimea, they were Russians anyway, and we should remember that Khrushchev, former Soviet leader, didn't ask anyone, not Crimeans for sure, to give this peninsula to Ukraine. It was Russian territory for the last few centuries and more, and this fucking idiot Khrushchev took this peninsula and gave it to Ukraine. I mean, what the fuck, So Russia took back what was Russian anyway, but nevertheless, Western elites did succeed in Ukraine, because they, not just in 2014, but now in 2022, provoke war, and this time between Russia and Ukraine. And why they did it? Because they Western elites want to increase spending on militaries, and to isolate Russia. And they did succeed in both directions. European states, one by one, announcing to their plans to increase military budgets by 100-200%, and Russia is basically cut off from European life. And that's bad, because as I said, China and Russia had no other options right now other than become more and more closer and dependent on each other. And in some sense, that may, that may cause some trouble in future, So, let's see what's gonna happen. But in my understanding, Western elites are playing with fire here, and someone must stop these sick motherfuckers, man. Because on the line is life of human civilization as we know it. So this is it for this video. In next episodes, I will talk about some other no less interesting stuff. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.